Good morning students, Sairam. Let's continue with chapter 1, knowing our numbers. In today's session, we are going to learn about the Roman numeral system. Children, apart from the Hindu-Arabic system of numerals, we have an early system of numbers, that is Roman numerals. Let's see how we write Roman numerals and what are the rules that we follow. So, Roman numerals system is one of the early system of writing numbers, and it is still used in many places. For example, in clocks we can see Roman numerals like this, and we also see the Roman numerals while mentioning classes in schools. So let's see how we write Roman numerals. Children, the Roman numerals shown here, they represent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10 respectively. I written once is 1. If it is written 2 times, then it is 2. 3 I's are 3. Then V is 4. V is 5. VI is 6. VII is 7. VIII is 8. IX is 9 and X is 10. Similarly, we have XI which represents 11, XII represents 12, XIII represents 13, XIV represents 14, XV represents 15, XVI represents 16, XVI represents 17, XV 3 times I represents 18. Similarly, we have XIX, that is 19, and 2 times X is 20. So, the important Roman numerals are I, which represents 1, V, which represents 5, X, which represents 10, and apart from them we have L, which represents 50, C, which represents 100, D, which represents 500, and M, which represents 1000. We write all the Roman numerals using only these Roman numbers. That means we write all the Roman numbers using I, V, X, L, C, D and M. Now let's see what are the rules for Roman numerals. These rules we have to remember, because the whole Roman numeral system depends on these rules. Rule number A: if a symbol is repeated, its value is added as many times as it occurs. For example, if I is repeated 2 times, then it means 2. If I is repeated 3 times, then it represents 3. If X is repeated 3 times, it is 3 times 10, that means 30. Rule number B is a symbol is not repeated more than 3 times. That means the symbols like I and X, they can be repeated only 3 times, not more than that. But the symbols V, L and D are never repeated. Let's see what is the next rule. Rule C: if a symbol of smaller value is written to the right of a symbol of greater value, its value gets added to the value of the greater symbol. For example, if we have VI, V represents 5 and I represents 1. So, I is the smaller number which is written to the right of V. So, its value gets added to V. That means VI is equal to 5 plus 1, that means 6. Similarly, if we write x, if we write xii like here, that means the value of x is 10 and I means 2. So it is added to 10, that means 12. xii is 12. Similarly, if we have lxv, the value of x is 50 and the value of L is 50, value of x is 10 and value of v is 5. So x and v come to the right of L. So lxv means 50 plus 10 plus 5, that means 65. So lxv is equal to 50 plus 10 plus 5. So we have to remember that if a symbol of smaller value is written to the right of a symbol of greater value, its value gets added to the value of greater symbol. D. If a symbol of smaller value is written to the left of a symbol of greater value, its value is subtracted from the value of greater symbol. Suppose we write IV. I is of smaller value. It is written to the left of V. V is of greater value. That means I is subtracted from V. 1 is subtracted from 5. So we get 4. So 4 is written as IV. Similarly, if we write IX, that means I is of smaller value, it is to the left of the number of greater value, that is 10. So it is 10 minus 1, 9. If we write XL, that means it is 50 minus 10, that is 40. If it is written XC, C is 100 and X is of smaller value and it is written to the left of C, that means it is subtracted from C, that means 100. So 100 minus 10 is equal to 90. So XC represents 90. Next rule is the symbols VLD are never written to the symbol of a greater value. That is, VL and D are never subtracted. So we have to keep this in mind, that V, L and D are never written to the left of the symbol of a greater value. That means they are never subtracted. The symbol I can be subtracted from V and X only. This also we have to keep in mind, that I can be subtracted only from V and X. And the symbol X can be subtracted from L, M and C only. So these points we have to keep in mind while writing the Roman numerals. Following these rules, we can write the Roman numerals like this. It is given in the table. We know how to write 1, 2, 3, 4 is IV, 5 V, 6 is VI, 7 is VII, 8 V and 3 times I, 9 I comes to the left of X, X is 10, 2 times X is 20, 3 times X is 30. XL, that means 50 minus 10 is 40, 50 is L, 60 is LX, X coming to the right of the greater value L, that means 50. So 50 plus 10 becomes 60 and 70 is LXX, that means 50 plus 10 plus 10, and 80 is LXX, 50 plus 10 plus 10, and 90 is XC. 100 is written as C. Now let's see a few examples how to write the Roman numerals. Write 16 as Roman numeral. 16 means it is 10 plus 5 plus 1. So we write X plus V plus 1. When we write the symbols of smaller value to the right of x, then they get added. So 16 is written as XVI. Next example, write 26 as Roman numeral. 26 means 20 plus 6, that means 10 plus 10 plus 6. So we write it as x plus v plus I. So it is XXVI. Since Vi come to the right of the greater value symbol, that means x, so they get added. So 2 times x is 20 and Vi is 6. So it is 26. Next one, example 7. This example has been taken from the textbook. Write Roman numerals 69. Write in Roman numerals 69 and 98. So how do we write 69? 69 is 60 plus 9. That means it is 50 plus 10 plus 9. So we have the Roman symbol, Roman number symbol for 50, that is L. So 10 is x, so it is Lx plus 9. So 69 can be written as Lxix. Next one is 98. How do we write 98? 98 is 90 plus 8, isn't it? So 90 is written as 100 minus 10, that means xc, isn't it? C represents 100. So x is written to left of c, that means it is 90 plus 8. For 8 we write VII. And so it is written as 98 is written as XCVII. So this is the Roman numeral for 98. Children, with this we come to the end of chapter 1, knowing our numbers. Thank you.